totally off topic. Do y'all think the Grammys is rigged?
Can I say something?
Because I have no idea how Cardi B beat
I think
Travis
you're gonna
Scott.
say what
I'm
thinking too. Say it. My name's Evan. This is my co-host Cole.
What's popping off?
I feel like I could be a Disney prince.
Cole just solved global warming right now.
Juice WRLD recently released a song, and he actually has passed away. I think Taylor Swift's overrated.
The number one podcast on Mars. Welcome to the podcast, Run the Culture, the number one podcast on Mars. My name's Evan. This is my co-host Cole.
You know the
who's
vibes.
sucking his gum down right now.
I looked over and one of our Dunstons was like, "Take your gum out," and I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." I feel like we're kind of vets at this. Episode 5, you know.
I don't know if I feel like I'm a vet.
Not a
yet.
vet, but you know, like this is like Jordan's 5th year. He had some clout behind him.
Yeah.
So episode 5.
We're only like 4 weeks in. We're not.
You know, you're right. But you know, every time I get behind the mic, I get more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I get excited for the conversation. You know, we dropped episodes 1 and 2.
Ones and 2.
1s and 2s. and the reaction was amazing. Just seeing like people engage with the podcast, our staff, the youth, hearing how people are reacting. This is like, when I dreamed of the podcast, the reaction was what I dreamed.
Wow.
I'm really excited.
It's really a dream come true moment.
Like sitting next to you, Evan, it's a dream come true.
Dang. You know,
Just to like shout out some people specifically, I know for like Vaughn Owen, she answered a question that I put in the podcast talking about why we crave social media. And I think that is like the premise of what we want this podcast to be.
Dang.
Like, I don't want you guys to get the impression that we know everything, because we don't. And I like how it's interactive. Like, youth are commenting answers to our questions.
We really
as well.
don't know much at all, honestly.
That's why we have
That's what I'm
Dunstons. We have Dunstons in the room. They'll be like, "Hey, you know what? That's wrong. A hug takes 10 seconds, and you get oxytocin, not serotonin."
That's the truth.
But I really loved how in the my bad, I did not mean to have the sound on. But there's people commenting, out of all of the podcasts they watch, these 2 episodes are their favorite. Shout out to you, Fakeo. It's a wonderful name. I really hope that I said it correctly. For the people who keep asking, will this podcast be on Spotify? Eventually it will. Maybe one day.
I don't know if I keep getting our views up. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
We dream big.
We do dream big. I
just want to get on Spotify
one day. Like I'm gonna ask Tim every day. Tim.
Well, we're already.
Do you think?
You know what? We're already 3 minutes into this, and we've got 2 amazing guests.
We do.
Do y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Take it away.
Ayo, we back. It's Gabby.
Gabby back
you know
again.
What to do.
From episode 1.
Yeah.
A great return.
Back so soon.
Wow.
We
Already
missed
back.
you. Like, we were like, you know what, Gabby, we got to get back. Well, we have a new face to the podcast.
I'm a rookie. The rookie is here.
Carlos.
Yeah. Carlos, my name.
Florida native?
Florida. I mean, yeah. Florida most of my life. So yeah.
Florida most of your life.
Florida native.
So
sure.
I have a question.
All right. The answer is yes.
Is Florida really like
Florida
that?
is weird, dog.
Because
it's everything
really
they say
like
and
that.
more.
Absolutely.
Wait, Gabby, you're a Florida native, right?
Well, New York born, transplant to Florida.
What's
But
the most Florida
yeah.
thing you've experienced while you were in Florida?
when a hurricane came through and people were like, we're going to shoot at the hurricane to make it go away.
You're lying.
That's
Wow.
Florida.
100%.
All right, Carlos, what's the most Florida thing
That
you've
is
experienced?
The
crazy.
most Florida thing is, like, all jokes aside, there are literally gators everywhere.
Just walking around?
So, like, on the road, it's like, all right, I got to wait for this gator to, like, crawl across the road so I can continue driving.
Yep.
That's the craziest thing.
It's bonkers. And
I
also,
don't believe it.
gators are dinosaurs, really, when you think about it. So it's pretty bonkers. I'm like,
It's
there's
just
a
straight up
dinosaur in the way.
dino
Yeah.
crawling.
1.25 million alligators that live in the state of Florida.
There is 1.25 million
million
alligators that live in the state of
Dang,
Florida.
Dunston's on it.
He is. That was quick.
That's crazy.
And they out and about, bro.
Just walking around.
They out and
The
about.
craziest thing that ever happened is a bear. Do you know what Stonecrest Shopping Center is? In Charlotte,
I have no idea.
where we live, there was a bear.
No.
I
Inside?
swear.
I saw
I
a
swear.
TikTok.
No way.
I saw a TikTok that there was a deer inside of a Walmart and people were wilding out.
Oh my God.
In Charlotte?
I don't think it was.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't think so. But I was like,
I saw this guy on TikTok snowboarding down a mountain with a bear chasing him.
Yes, I saw that too.
And I don't think the snowboarder knew. But imagine looking back and seeing a bear
going.
run a good 30 miles an hour.
I feel
running.
like the scariest part would be for the people on the ski lift watching this, probably trying to get
You're
the
like,
dude's
trying to, like,
attention.
yeah.
Like, yo.
They're actually more common than you think. Like, I knew quite a few that actually, they would, like,
And bears would chase them?
Really?
They'd pass bears.
So that
What?
it's a fairly
I
common.
I've
haven't
never
fear.
even seen a bear in real life.
I've
Me
snowboarded
either.
one time,
I've
and I didn't
Except
see
at the
any bears.
zoo.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to the zoo.
Dang. Can we
In Maryland, the
fix that.
aquarium is big, not the zoo.
Florida has an
I
aquarium.
kind of miss the zoo. Like
I
those are some
don't. It
fun-
makes me feel
We should
grimy
bring-
inside.
We should definitely bring the zoo back. I
Yeah.
don't think it's getting talked enough.
It
We should
ain't.
bring that thing back.
Yeah, the zoo is dying. We need to bring
Dang.
that.
What if
Where are
like
the animals at
Youth
the
X
zoo?
22?
We need to bring
We
that
get
back.
a
Like
we get a zoo
GameStop,
on the
hey,
moon.
GameStop came back. If the GameStop can come back,
The zoo can come
The
back.
zoo can
Brilliant.
definitely
But
come
what's
back.
crazy about GameStop is it was all off of rumors. Like this the GameStop stock spike
Yeah.
was birthed out of Reddit and TikTok.
Talk about it.
well, that ain't rumors, bro. Those are the people running the world. Let's be honest.
Be real.
No,
We,
Twitter-
hey, TikTok and Reddit, those are the move
running the show.
makers
Right.
running the show.
I just-
it ain't the big rich people.
How did
Dang.
this come
Tell
about?
'em.
But what did they
It's
say?
the revolution.
How did this come about? Like, who started the hey, buy some GameStop, buy some GameStop? Was it like was there rumors of GameStop shutting down?
No, it was because what I heard is because, which I'm not educated. Maybe we need to have someone on the podcast that knows more.
Maybe.
But
Maybe like Chunks,
it
he's
was-
stock educated.
Chunks is smart. Yeah,
Should we?
Maybe one day.
Should we
Chunksy?
make Chunks in one episode?
Chunks
One
is smart.
episode.
Shout out
Anyways,
to
Stonks
Chunks.
with
So
Chunks.
it was this hedge fund, super rich billionaires
Yeah.
or whatever. One of the guys was like, "Yeah, GameStop is going down. We need to, like, this is a lost cause to try to get everyone to sell, to like drive it down further, so then he could make more money off of
Yeah.
the bet that it would go down in price."
Correct.
That's low key
And then-
grimy.
Reddit got a hold of that and was like, "Nah,
Yep.
I've
What?
donated
Power,
too
man.
many games to
Yeah.
let this one
Oh,
go
Yeah,
down."
you know,
that.
I've donated
For
a
2
whole.
cents.
Not sold.
You
Not
go-
sold.
Not
No,
so.
Maybe
it was
GameStop-
it's always a donation.
It
You
is
gotta
a
write that off at
donation.
the end of the year.
I-
I donated
maybe
some
like
games to
this is
GameStop.
what's
off the
going to
tax.
allow GameStop to give you more than $2 for a game.
That's a
Yeah.
lie, and you know it. Regardless of what happens, they're like, I know you paid $50. We're gonna give you 2 cents.
Yeah.
2
Sound good?
Best we can do. Keith Gill. Shout out to you,
Gill.
Keith
So
Gill.
he's
Big
the
shout out
hero
to
or the
Keith.
enemy?
Wait, is it an anti shout out or a shout out? Is he a hero?
Yeah.
What part
No,
was
I,
yours?
Or antagonist.
yeah, I think he started the Reddit thread.
Okay. Let
He
me
is
Okay,
going to
come
be-
on,
this up.
Keith Gill for the
Yeah,
people.
you know what?
go.
Claps in
Hey,
the chat
for
for
the
Keith
people.
Gill.
Dang,
Hey, for
Keith.
president?
Keith Gill.
Damn.
But also, if we get it wrong though, and he's like the guy, then
Yeah.
See
the
what
anti-hero.
what I really wish though is when I grew up, the only information I learned about stocks is from like old people.
Bro,
Like,
I know
ev-
nothing about
so
stocks.
why is the school system not teaching people this? Like
Bro,
when I'm in school,
There's a
they don't
lot of
teach you how to
things
pay
school ain't
taxes.
teaching.
They don't
Yeah.
teach you how
Yeah.
to invest in stocks. They don't teach you how to pay a mortgage. They don't teach you how to apply for a credit card or a car loan. These are all things
Yeah.
that are necessities in life, but
Yep.
they don't teach you how. What I'm learning in school is
I know
how
what
to-
a
the
subject. I know what
Pythagorean
a
theorem.
subject and a predicate is.
Dang.
Why do I need to know that?
I
though?
think I knew that. I don't even know.
Actually, yeah.
I don't know. Lil Wayne said I got through that sentence like a subject and a predicate. That's how.
Absolutely. So
You
I
said some
definitely-
words that I've definitely heard those words before. I couldn't
It's
tell
bringing
you
up something. It's
You know
stirring
what?
something in
That's
my spirit.
that
There's
triggered a
something
memory.
there.
Don't really know what it means
It's
though.
unlocking it.
But
So
like,
true.
so is it like only in America to where these things are not taught, or in other countries do they learn about things
I
like
don't-
that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think they're teaching stocks in any school,
I
They
don't
need
know.
to.
but talking about like taxes and like
But even like simply how to
Yeah.
manage a budget or how to manage money.
that should absolutely
Some-
be a class.
Some
at
people
least.
did learn that. Like
Well,
Noah
really?
in school, they did FPU, Financial Peace University, but for like
Okay.
students, and that was the
Oh,
class.
that.
But
Where-
he went to
that
private
was your,
school.
That's your husband? Yeah.
Mhm.
Where did he go to school?
He went to school in Lakeland, Florida, at a private school.
Florida.
That's where I went to
But I
college,
went to
boy.
public
Hey,
school,
Florida's
and
not
we
a
didn't
lost
learn any
cause.
of that unless you took the elective that was like home ec. Is home ec a thing?
Home ec?
Tell us in the
Yo.
comments.
I always saw that in movies. I didn't know
I
people
always
actually
saw
took it.
that. If,
Hey.
if there was a cooking
Low-key.
class,
That was
Low-key.
home ec.
hey, sign me up.
Low
My
key, best class.
You
No
you
way,
took it?
you took
You
it?
took it?
I learned how to sew
Give us a testimony.
and I learned how to cook.
Come
Oh
on,
my god!
Jesus.
Hey,
I made
Mackenzie got a catch right here.
I mean, she does.
Listen, he said I'm a whole seamstress.
I'm a whole.
Dang, boy.
He said,
For
"I'm
real.
more than a graphic designer."
Right? He said I'm multifaceted, layers.
That
Amen.
honestly, low key, that would be a huge like. I would love to get better at sewing. Like
I know
love,
how to sew.
I
That's
would
a
love to be
flex.
able to
That's a flex.
tailor my own clothes.
What if we
I got
like?
that.
What if we started custom-made youth embroidered
Oh.
T-shirts and hoodies?
Pop off.
Dang.
I mean,
If you teach me how to sew, I'll open up the.
I know how to
you
sew.
wore
I can
that,
teach you.
I think episode 1, dog. You wore your
that Nike camo. Go back to episode 1 if you haven't watched it. But
You did that?
that's
You
a-
embroidered that?
He embroidered that.
That is
You
a
better.
EO Evan original. That's what that was.
EO?
You know what? You know what'd be cool? A
You know what?
rug.
CEO Cole and
I want to
Evan
take
original.
up rug making
I do too.
on TikTok with a.
Yeah.
What is that?
You get like a whole frame. It's probably like the size of this table, and
Uh-huh.
then there's this machine that you put the yarn in, and then you just like. I don't even know how to explain it. It makes the
You
rug
make a
for
rug?
you. Yeah.
I tell you, I learned more off of TikTok than anything else.
See,
Hands down.
Hands down.
I'm not gonna
100%.
lie.
TikTok
Well,
is
I be
our new
going
school.
through TikTok, and they're like, "This is how you buy a house at the age of blah
Yup,
blah."
yup.
And I'm like, you know
And
what?
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
like with 0% down.
Give me all of this information, and
Yep.
you know what? It's only like a fraction of the truth, but I be believing it.
I be listening.
I be,
at least.
but back to like the school system.
Yeah.
Home ec,
Take us back, bro.
home ec. I really wish that I did take that in
I
school.
wish.
At my school, they had electives like yoga and weightlifting.
Yoga is a move.
Yoga,
That's a
what?
flex.
You
Okay,
don't
do you
want
know what we learned in yoga?
flexibility?
What did you learn in yoga?
We did 2 positions. It was warrior,
Which
And-
one? Which warrior?
warrior 1, and warrior 2.
Wow.
That's it?
And then after we finished with warrior, we had this thing called namaste, where we took a nap for 40 minutes in the class.
That's
That's
No.
called the
Namaste
corpse
at home,
pose.
yeah.
That ain't real.
That's
why,
a real thing.
Why would I lie? So did y'all watch Everybody Hates Chris, right?
Totally.
I seen that.
I've never seen that.
Okay. In Everybody Hates Chris, they
show.
had a
It's a good
home
show.
ec class, and that's what made me feel like as if I really wanted
Yeah.
to be in home ec.
But home ec was always cooking, is what I always saw on TV.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't
it's
know that
more
you
than
learned how
that.
to.
In home ec at my school, they would teach you like how to swaddle a baby and like all
What?
this stuff. So like, if,
Did y'all ever have like
That
to
was
take
like
care of an
AP
egg?
home ec. That was like honors home ec.
Yeah,
I
she-
didn't
No.
get
How
that
to
far.
swaddle a
Straight
baby.
up
That's AP.
basic.
You know what? So last night I was having a conversation with my mother and my sister,
Mhm.
and it was crazy because she was talking about how women are taught to be parents from a young age.
Mhm.
Like they're taught to care for dolls. They're like these are
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
men are not like. That's why stereotypically, not all the time, but women are more caring than men because they'll have, like when they're young they'll have dolls with them. They'll like be learning to care for the dolls, the whole
Yeah.
baby dolls and things like that. And maybe that's why like let's just get dolls for everybody, and then everybody will be so much nicer.
So you think that it is taught? It's not like a
nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
I feel like it's both. Like I feel like
Yeah.
because my mom, she wasn't taught to be a good mom. It's just she like does it.
yeah.
But
Mm.
then you go around and you're like, well, when I'm a little girl and I have a baby doll and I learn to care for the baby doll, then this eventually is going to like carry into my real life.
That's true.
So
mean,
I
if you
feel like-
decide to have
Yes.
kids.
I feel like there can be a point to where because guys need to be nurturers too.
That's true.
I mean, I
Like-
had the action figures, but they were definitely
And
fighting
you were
each other,
fighting
you know
each
what I
other,
mean?
huh?
Oh, I swaddled my GI Joes.
Oh, bet.
yeah.
You swap.
So
see,
you're
that's
definitely
why
more
you're
than-
tender,
they'd
Evan.
They'd get wounded in battle. I need to take them back
Okay.
to
Hey,
My
mom,
uncle
he
has
got
a
hurt.
kit.
That's real.
low
But-
key. I bought a Lego. Speaking of like old toys,
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a Lego set the other day. I went back to like a inner
Dang.
like I went back and talked to little Evan.
You
And
did.
You
it was
should.
That
a-
just made me a little bit emotional.
You should.
there was a little
That
tear
gave me
started
like
forming.
that
Yeah.
gave me like Toy Story 3 vibes when
Oh.
Andy gave his
Yeah.
toys away.
Stop.
For real.
Let's not talk
It was
about
a spiritual moment of me putting my
Legos.
Star
together.
Wars episode 9 B-Wing together.
You know
Dang.
that TikTok trend where it's like take a picture with your
Yeah.
child version of yourself?
Yeah.
That's the one that I avoid because I'm like, I know that if I record this, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Dang.
But I feel like
That's real.
there's a lot of value in self-reflection and like past reflection
Yeah.
Mm.
because you don't like it's hard to measure growth when you're only looking at yourself from a short time frame.
My gosh.
Say that.
Yeah.
So like of course when you're looking at your growth from like a child's point of view, you go
Sure.
back to when you're a kid and you're like, "Oh, I've grown so much physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually." That's why I think it's cool. Like, and the cool thing about growth is you can be happy and it doesn't even have to be your own. Like, if me hearing about Evan's growth, hearing about how he's grown as a leader, hearing about how he's grown as a person, a boyfriend, that is inspiring.
Yeah.
That's why I think like
Mm.
watching somebody else's growth is one of the purest forms of happiness because
Oh,
it
for sure.
takes I wrote this in a paper. It takes the I out of happiness and puts it somewhere else.
Whoa. I think though that's why e-groups
That-
are like
That
the
was it
move.
for me.
That was it.
But that's why like the importance of community is like you get
Yeah.
around people who can celebrate with you
Oh, for sure.
and like
Yeah.
notice those wins, because sometimes you're too close to your own growth to like actually see it for what it is.
Yeah, if you didn't
Dang.
measure yourself on the door, it's growing is gradual. So you would have
Dang.
never noticed it if you didn't write it on the
Dang.
wall, you know? So
That's fire.
without that community, you're growing. You
That's
can't
true.
notice it, but they'll be like, you got a little taller.
You know what?
Man,
That's
real.
why I love going to my grandma's house because
No.
she's getting older.
No one
She's
hypes
getting
me up about
older,
my grandma.
and she's like starting to
Straight
get
up.
forgetful now. And she's like, "Cole, you got tall," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"You saw me last week, Grandma." I
Yeah,
ain't grown."
yeah.
But she's like, "No, she's viewing me from when I was 6,
Yep.
Dang.
or like when I was a child, so she's able to see the
Yeah.
growth that I can't see."
Absolutely.
Dang.
That's why shout
Grandma-
out to my grandma.
yeah,
I love
grandma-
you so much, Mama.
Ultimate hype man is grandma.
Oh.
Ultimate hype
Ultimate
man.
hype
Grandmas
man.
are built different.
Y'all
God
think-
did a little bit extra for
Oh,
They
grandmas.
did.
They
Do y'all
did.
think?
Yeah.
Do y'all think our grandmas took home ec? Like
She
they
didn't
created
have
home
to.
ec.
Oh,
My
they-
nana
no.
Their whole
is the
life
one-
was home ec.
Literally, my nana is the one who taught me how to sew. She taught me how to crochet.
Wow.
My parents used to drop us off at my grandma's in summer, and we would have Nana Day Camp, is what we called it. So almost everything I know is
What?
partially because of my grandma. Like, we would go to the store. I'd be like, "Oh, I like that dress." She's like, "That's it. We're gonna make it." I'd say, "Excuse me." She'd say, "We're gonna make it."
That's
and
fire.
she literally
That's
could
fire.
look at it.
Fire.
We would go to Joann's or Michael's, and she would pick out how many yards we needed. She would make the pattern from her memory, and we would sew the thing.
Dang.
And I
That
would
is
have a new
amazing.
dress.
That's crazy.
Evan's hero.
My grandma was-
Absolutely
I was
Evan's
like-
hero.
can I hang out with Nana?
My grandma was not teaching me how to sew, but my grandpa did teach me my times tables in first grade.
Awesome.
So I was like, I was pretty
Dang.
advanced in the mathematics department, if I would say so
That
myself.
that does kind of make me think about though. I've been thinking about this. Does it scare you at all how reliant we are on the systems around us? Like we just show up to a store and there's food, or
Oh, yeah.
we just go to a store and buy. Like Nana, she knew how to do all that herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think about the state that we're in, especially with like, I feel like COVID is kind of showing
Yeah.
that like, dang, if something bad did happen,
Yeah.
we're all in a bad situation.
I mean,
not
Straight up.
knowing.
It's the proof is in the fact that like the randomest thing of toilet paper was gone. Well, you couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so now it's like, well, what do I do now if I don't have any?
Well, just curious, real quick, what was your? Did you think about it?
of
I,
what?
I thought about it for a second.
You just gotta buy a bidet.
I have one.
you have
Yeah.
a day.
Mm-hmm.
I've never used one, but I hear
Honestly,
it's clean.
I've been like low key kind of wondering what that's like.
But you know,
It's
like
kinda magical.
one of
Just
my
don't
worst
turn it up too high.
one of my worst fears is using the
know I'm not the only
restroom
one,
in
right?
public.
You might be the only
I
one.
might
G.
be the only
You
one.
might be.
One of my worst fears is using the restroom in public, running out of toilet paper, and having to ask somebody near me. I'd rather like take off a sock and use a sock
See,
than
but
ask
that's
somebody next to me
commonplace
for
in the
toilet.
ladies' room. I feel
See,
like.
but that's normal for
Tough.
women.
Tough.
I know,
but-
but guys don't talk in the men's bathroom. I heard.
No.
Like y'all just be like
It'd
about
be-
your business.
I'm definitely not trying to have a
Well,
conversation.
I'm not kikiing with a
Oh.
stranger, but like if I'm stranded on the toilet, I have no toilet
Yeah.
paper, and someone's next to me, I'll be like,
Nah.
excuse me, can you
Yeah.
hand me some? And this is how you know if they actually care about you or not. If they give you one or two squares, then
Oh.
they're a hater. If they
Yeah,
give you
yeah.
a full wraparound,
Wow.
That's
They're
the
a
favor
real
of the
one?
Lord
That's-
is on their life.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't
Wow.
talk. I
Two
mean,
types of
if
people.
Cole and I were having a conversation, as soon as we walk through the bathroom door, it's like, yeah, bro, and then yesterday, we don't talk anymore.
Also,
I
I
don't
just
talk to
like I'm gonna
people.
give you an
Yeah.
insight of the
Oh.
men's restroom. I do not know why. I don't know who created this. But if you were wondering, if there's 3 urinals, for some reason, a man will use 1 and 3, not 2 and 3, not
Yeah,
1 and
no.
2, just
Nah.
1 and 3.
I heard
I
it's
don't
like
really
a
know why.
cardinal
It's just like
sin to
it's
use
just
the middle one.
But
like
there
if there's
is
room.
Absolutely.
there is definitely the tipping point though.
like if you're
it's-
like with your
it's-
brother or
if,
dad,
if
it's
the
okay.
worst experience just got out and there's a line, it's like no,
You've
we
witnessed
all got to
this.
pile in, and
Yeah.
then when it's just 1 and 3, and then 2 and 4, they have to get filled at the same time.
Yes.
But soon as
Okay,
they,
okay.
you
It's
can't-
weird. It's like a man mindset.
soon as they fill the gaps, then it's like okay.
Okay.
I want to ask though,
We're good.
do you think you observed these behaviors and took them on, or do you think someone taught you, like, hey, this is what we do,
All
and that's how it
observation.
I've
goes?
observed it.
All observation
Is
for
instinct.
sure.
I just didn't
Instinct.
like. You know, we're so
Instinct.
Low-key,
scared of
though,
being the
it
oddball.
Might be an
Why?
instinct
I
thing.
don't know.
Like I don't. When
know.
I was a kid, I didn't care. But now since like we have such
Oh.
a deep fear of like, oh, I can't be the one who uses
Yeah.
the
Y'all.
2 urinal.
I
It's like the
I-
cheese touch, the equivalent of the cheese
Oh
touch. If
my
you've ever
gosh,
read Diary of a
cheese
Wimpy
touch.
Kid,
That took.
I actually don't know what y'all talking
If
about.
you use urinal too, you have the cheese touch, Carlos.
I don't know what the cheese touch is, y'all.
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
to.
That just unlocked a memory for me.
What is the?
All right,
What's the
Diary of a
cheese
Wimpy
touch?
Kid was a book, right?
Yeah.
And there was
There's a
this
movie.
piece of cheese that was on the ground,
Yep.
Okay.
and it was there for like years. And if you touched the cheese, you had the cheese touch forever. And then in the movie, they made this kid Rowley eat the cheese, but Greg, such a good friend, took up for Rowley and was like, "I ate the cheese,"
Wow.
and he had the cheese touch.
You need a Greg in your life.
You need a Greg in your
Come on.
life. Somebody,
Need
you
a
know what?
Greg.
And you know what?
You need a
Greg
Abishai.
needs to watch
I was
this
just about to
podcast.
say, Greg is the
It's
Abishai
Abishai.
of Diary of a Wimpy
Greg
Kid.
is the Abishai, and
Who's
you
your
need
Abishai?
who is child. You need to share this with your Abishai. You got to let them know, hey, if you're sharing this and you were this person's Abishai, whoever sent this to you, they just wanted to let you know, hey, I
Dang.
care about you. You got me through some tough seasons. You're my Abishai.
That's real.
Dang.
That's
Cole
very
said
real.
I was his Abishai.
I did say Evan was my Abishai.
That's
You know
so
what,
sweet.
though?
That's
But
great.
you're kind of my Abishai too, honestly.
Dang, thank you, Evan.
There's a moment.
I don't
happening
think you
here.
have-
Yeah, I
There's a
don't know.
moment.
I don't
There
know
is
why
a
I
10
moment
said
second
that.
hug
happening.
again.
Nah.
Back rub.
10-second hug
With the
again.
back rub.
Maybe like after. Maybe
Yeah.
like after.
Yeah, after when it's just you and me.
Just
Like,
you and
yeah,
just
yeah.
us. But you know, like what I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's like us being in February, it's Black History Month. I was talking about the school conversation.
Yeah.
I was doing some research because I feel like when I was in school, I learned about a very tight scope of people during Black History Month. Like people who were very like influential, Martin Luther King, Rosa
Mhm.
Parks, the people who were
Yeah.
wonderful. But
Yeah.
I never learned about, there was this guy, I read about him last night. His name is Jeremiah Hamilton. He was one of the first,
Jeremiah Hamilton.
Dang.
Gabby, get out. Jeremiah Hamilton he was born in 1835, right?
All right.
Me
But-
too.
1835.
Dang.
I know I don't look
Ciao.
a day over 100.
Nah.
But
Dang.
he had a net worth of $2 million, which is the equivalent to $250 million in today's money.
Wow.
He was one of the first African Americans on Wall Street. He was nice with the investing. Like when it came to GameStop, he was the
He
original.
knew.
He
He knew.
knew. He
He
was
knew.
investing in GameStop
Yeah.
back in 1830
He didn't need Reddit.
when there was no GameStop.
Yep.
He didn't need Reddit because he was Reddit. He was
Ooh,
hanging out with
wow.
Vanderbilt. He was just
Dang,
smooth with the bread.
Vandy?
He was hanging out with Vanderbilt.
Yo.
That's like
Man,
I
you-
feel like
you
it would've
gotta
been
be Reddit, bro. You got
it would have been cool to learn about him.
Dang.
Wait,
But
hold on. I feel got the goosebumps. You gotta be
you
Reddit
gotta
sometimes.
Be Reddit sometimes. But no, ultimately, like there are so many people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many influential like stories of people that are like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Black History Month was like, oh, I didn't know highways were
Yeah.
literally created by a black guy. Just highways.
The
So it's
whole
like
system.
the
Wow.
whole
Y'all
system.
call them highways or beltways? Where I'm from, they're called beltways.
Definitely
call 'em
highways.
highway.
Definitely
Okay.
highways.
I have never heard.
I've never held
Beltway.
beltways.
Maybe it's just a Maryland thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Forget I said
Beltways?
that.
It's
Hold
interesting.
on.
It's interesting.
Dunstan, can we
I've
get a
never heard that.
definition on
Can we get
beltways?
beltways?
Like 695, that's a beltway. 485, that's a beltway.
Dang.
That's a bar.
I don't think
That's
that's
a
beltway.
that's a whole.
It sounds cool. I mean,
Beltway.
I'd like to say beltway.
Beltway.
Except I don't know how to use it in a sentence, so
I
I'll
don't-
probably shut
Hey,
that.
hop on the beltway real quick.
How about a beltway?
Beltway is a highway and strictly an urban area.
A highway.
If
in an
highway
urban
is
way.
in the definition,
area.
though. No, highway's in the definition.
Specifically in
So it's a brand of highway.
Washington,
Yeah.
D.C.?
Oh.
Yeah, see, I'm from Baltimore. Kind of
Shout
near
out,
Washington,
Dang, do you work
D.C.
out, bro?
I mean, I work out
Wow.
with Evan. And
Dang.
Anywho,
I'm trying to get
But
like Pastor
I'm
Steven.
swiveling it back.
Swivel it back.
Yeah,
Get it back, get
but
it
the
back,
thing
get
is,
it
like,
back.
there's so many different people
Yeah.
who've created so much that we don't talk about. But the crazy thing is, I love that, like, in Black History Month, we get to talk about, like, remember this, but, like, history is still happening now.
Yes.
So the coolest thing is, like, man, there's people who are influential today.
That-
I mean, to think of, I forgot her name, who did the poem at the inauguration.
Yes.
That's Black history,
That is
dude.
can
Black.
look it up.
Like, it's
And
so
that just
crazy
happened.
because I feel like a lot of people operate out of the it's them or a one day mentality.
Mm.
But if Martin Luther King was operating out of a it's just them or a one day,
Yeah.
where would we be today? Her name was
Thank
Amanda
you.
Gorman. But there's this girl. I went to high school with her. Her Instagram is Goku's mom. I don't know. I forget her name in the moment. But she was.
Is that
You
not?
know-
Wait. Is that not the realest thing though?
You know the IG name.
I know the
I
IG
know her
handle.
name.
That's
Handles.
weird.
Like
That's
she's
weird.
making history though. Like
Let's
at
go.
my high school, she was very hands on with activism. Like
Bet.
when things were going down,
Mm.
she was the voice that people turned to. And this is what I feel like we're making history in like daily.
Mhm.
And that's what's
100%.
inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna make history or are you just gonna look at his story?
Dang, that's good.
I'm offended.
Wait, he just
I'm
split the word
offended.
history into
To
his story.
story.
I didn't. I swear I
Or
didn't.
her
Speaking of-
story.
Thank
There
His
are
story or her
more-
story.
Two or more. Another person who is influential nowadays also is Brian Stevenson. I don't know if you're familiar with the book Just Mercy or the movie Just Mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started a foundation called the Equal Justice Initiative, EJI. He grew up in the South. He went to school for law, and then he took on pro bono cases for people on death row.
Dang.
Yeah,
Oh.
which is like nuts because sometimes there are people who were wrongly convicted and
yeah.
got put on death row and are
Yeah.
just awaiting their sentence or what have you, and they just sit there.
That's wild.
And he was the person that was like, I'm going to advocate for these people. I'm going to be a voice for these people. And I think that's huge. Just like using the influence you have wherever you can use it instead of waiting for that opportunity. Sometimes you have to pave your own way.
He was
Dang.
probably just like, you know what? This hasn't been done yet. Maybe I should do it.
Yeah.
And like, how many times of like just throughout your day, it's like, you know what? I had this
Yeah.
random idea. This hasn't been done yet. If that random idea comes by your head, maybe you gotta take that and run with it.
yeah.
You never know.
That is, I mean, and speaking of like great African American people, you know, Michael Jackson was the first African American to win a Grammy.
Really?
Wait.
Yes.
For real?
In 1983, Michael Jackson was the first African American to win a Grammy. With the Grammys coming up, I feel like it's just,
I would have thought definitely earlier than that.
I
somebody
know
else.
it seems
Yeah.
so recent.
Really?
There has only been 10
Really?
African American or black. There has only been 10 black artists who have won Grammys
Since what year?
For album of the year specifically.
for album of the year. For album of the year.
Since the inception of the Grammys.
10?
Oh, okay, that's when Michael Jackson won.
All right,
Okay.
let's go for 11.
I don't.
It's got to
so-
be one of
Oh.
us.
What's
This is the year.
do y'all,
This
low
is
key
the
though?
Album of the year.
Totally off topic. Do y'all think the Grammys is rigged?
Can I say something?
Because
Can
I have
say
no
something?
idea how
Carlos,
Cardi B beat.
I think
Travis
you're gonna
Scott.
say what
Can I say
I'm
something?
thinking too. Say it.
I mean, not only do I say yes, I think a lot of stuff is rigged.
I'd agree.
The
The
Oscars
what?
are rigged.
Oscars?
I think sometimes.
Really?
What? So he's saying
I
that
don't
the Oscars are rigged. Whoever donates the most money to the Academy or their
Mhm.
studio, that's who gets the Oscar. That is crazy.
That's
like,
wild.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
why don't
wouldn't- I
people have
wouldn't either.
integrity anymore?
It's not hot.
It's
Bring
not
back
hot.
Yeah,
integrity.
and
You know
I
what
feel
make-
like we're getting to the point too where people can kind of sniff that stuff out,
Especially now.
and
But
it's
You
like,
know who's
dude-
sniffing out? Reddit.
Reddit.
oh,
Reddit
Reddit's
will
on.
look
Reddit,
like-
Reddit got that dog in them.
TikTok will definitely
Sniff
shine
it.
some light. And
But
be
you
like,
know what?
Did y'all
Like,
see this?
Yeah.
I know like TikTok has the power to make things like GameStop shift,
Mm.
but does that have the power to make a
Well, I was even gonna
deep,
say,
deep?
like
his-
culturally, I don't think people care as much about
Yeah.
the Grammys or the Oscars.
like
they
if you're an
used to.
artist,
Anymore.
if you're like,
I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't remember the last time I was like, dang, oh, the Grammys is coming up. I can't wait to
Right.
watch.
Yeah,
I
feel
don't-
You.
I'm gonna watch it this year because Elevation for The Blessing is nominated, and I
Wow,
really,
that's true.
I really think it
Wow,
would
wow.
be dope.
Wow.
For Elevation, I'm
That would
I'm
be
saying
crazy.
it. I think it's dope when we win the Grammy. But
When?
Hey,
yeah,
say
win.
it again.
When
bro.
we win the Grammy, that's what.
Mm.
But like, normally I'm like, oh, the Grammys, that's cool. But this, like, since I
Yeah.
work at the church, I feel like I'd be pretty cool to see like our
Yeah.
church, like things that we've been praying for, things
Yeah.
that like
Yeah,
that'll just be somebody's gonna hear the blessing because they heard that it was nominated for the Grammy,
Yeah.
yeah,
Does
and then it may change their life. That's
Yeah.
what's cool to me.
yeah.
But does it come with like age? Like now that we're older, are we like, yeah, that I mean, because I was into it back in the day.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it is what it is now.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel like it was a bigger production back then. You know,
Yeah.
because when I was a kid, my whole family would get together and we would watch the Grammys at my
We
grandma's
watch
house.
award shows for sure.
Yeah. So
I do that.
now it doesn't even matter. Like I'll just look at the highlights on Instagram, and maybe that's just the problem of the age that we're
Yeah,
in.
because you can get it anywhere. If
We-
you miss it, you can just get
Information
it
is
Yeah.
so accessible that it's causing us to no longer have the interactions that we used to. Like I used to have cookouts every summer with my family.
anywhere.
We don't really do those no more.
I mean, we
Dude.
can't now. That's the
Yeah,
weird
with-
thing.
With
It's
the
like,
vid, it's hard.
But I feel like
even
before,
prior to the vid, I wasn't having a
Yeah.
cookout.
I mean, that's true though.
like I remember growing up in
Yeah.
neighborhood cul-de-sac, like just getting everybody.
Yep.
and all the kids
All
All
Yeah.
of
come
the
out.
pop out to
I'm
the
like,
function.
my kids probably won't have that.
Dang, bro.
If you make it,
you know what?
That's true.
Let's
true.
all make a promise in this room and those listening. We're gonna make our kids
Hey,
Hey.
bring
have
back
the cul-de-sac cookout.
The
Yes.
cul-de-sac cookout.
it's
bring it back.
necessary.
Because there's things you learn in that cul-de-sac cook. Like when you get into a dispute with I learned conflict management at the age of 6 years old because I would be arguing with kids.
Oh yeah,
I
and
learned
you learned how to get a good portion size when you're going through the line.
Yes.
The first
And
time.
you learned how to care for people's feelings at a cookout. You know their food is bad. Put the plate upside down.
Plate down in the
Upside
trash,
down. If you throw a plate right side up with food on it, that
can
is
tell.
you're a menace to society.
It's not even that.
That's
It's like
true,
you're
that's true.
specifically being like, "Ooh, this didn't hit." Everyone needs to see that
Damn.
your
Yeah.
potato salad.
I'm gonna be
That's
honest
fair.
though. Y'all ever been to a cookout and then they say who made this and you were the one who made it, and then they didn't eat it
That's when you
afterwards?
just see yourself out.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
no, that's
You gotta take your dish and go
God,
home.
God forgives
Yeah.
you. God forgives you when you're like, yeah, who made that?
Who
If you
made that
lie,
potato salad?
God forgives you.
That's
bro.
why you always bring something from the store.
For sure.
I'm that person.
Hey, I don't
Hawaiian
really
sweet
know.
rolls always a banger.
that's true.
Gabby,
Oh, Hawaiian
Oh,
bread
good
is.
call.
is
Gabby,
a win
you
every
were making
time, every
beignets
time.
on your story. You better not be
I
bringing
did.
the Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Well,
the cookout.
I wouldn't, but there's not been a cookout for me to bring my.
You know what?
Dang, man.
We're not gonna have a
Alright,
cookout
man.
anytime soon. But when this vid is over, y'all pop out to Elevation Valentine. We having a cookout. I don't know when.
That's
I
a
haven't even-
rhythm night.
Hey, a rhythm night cookout. We
Wait
get.
a minute, you might have
Hey,
just done
Travis
something.
has them
Mm.
cookout dad shoes. So if he is not on
Are
the
you talking
grill,
about the
our
dad
intern,
sandals?
Dunstan.
Oh, the Mavericks.
The Monarchs, Air Monarchs. Hey, all we need is like DM us. We need 10 dads. If you send us a picture of your Monarchs, and we'll be able to tell if you're sturdy on the grill or not. That's the
It's
measure.
all in the shoes. It's all in
all
the
in-
shoes.
have some
like if
New
you use them to
Balances.
grill and cut grass. Oh, I know they aren't, but if I can look at somebody's shoes and tell how nice they are on the
Bro,
grill.
shoes will
Especially
tell
I'll
you.
if
send
they
you a picture of
have
my
the-
grandpa's shoes, and you'll be able to tell.
It's the
how
cargo
crazy he
pant,
is.
and you kind
It's
of
the combo.
you
Oh.
put that.
It has to have the hammer loop on the side though.
Also, and if you're
Exactly,
if they
exactly.
jean shorts are a honorable mention as well. You got some
My
jean
dad
shorts.
was rocking some jean shorts.
some
back in the
homemade.
day.
Jorts?
It's like they
homemade
clip them
jorts?
off. Boom.
Oh,
Homemade one's a different flex.
homemade. You
Dude,
know
I
what?
used to wear
With
those
like
in
some
high
of those
school.
half socks that just cover half the ankle.
I hate
No,
those.
They're
gray-
not long
With
enough.
the gray on the toe and the heel, though. Those.
Oh my god. You were describing
Bro,
every
why?
dad right now.
Why is that such a
God.
Like
common
I'm
thing?
feeling Home Depot right now.
Is it nurture? Or is it
Bam,
nature?
bam.
It just is. And that Home
See,
Depot
women
track just-
Dustin's got
women
the
are better
grays
than
on.
us.
He's got
Swivel the
grays
camera.
on,
We need
bro.
to see this.
Dang.
Definitely has the
Oh
grays
my-
on.
No way.
That's the sock I'm talking
That's
about.
why
Listen.
Peyton was so quiet this whole
We
time.
couldn't make this up. This was
It's
not
the hang.
This was
He
orchestrated.
not-
definitely just pulled the whose mashed
the
potatoes
hands.
is this? We talked about the gray socks, and my man was
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, don't
Dang.
say nothing."
Dang, this has been a great conversation.
It
Let us
has
know in
been
the
a great
comments what
conversation.
kind of socks you're wearing right now,
What kind of socks you're wearing?
and what else we should talk about in the next
Yeah.
coming weeks.
Shout
Or
out
if
to the
there's any
people wearing
guests,
mismatched socks.
Shout
That's
out.
me.
Shout
most
out. Shout
days.
out.
Shout out
Shout
to the
out.
people wearing mismatched socks.
This was great.
This
Yeah.
has been great. It's
This
been
was
great
awesome.
conversation. We really
love it.
enjoyed y'all having on the podcast.
Enjoyed having
Man.
us. It was very good.
He said,
fun.
we really enjoyed.
We really enjoy having.
your-
You know what?
your-
Sometimes you lose your words, but this
That's
has been a
true.
great day.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You know what? Have a great week, y'all.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Youth Nation.
Youth Nation.